Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming and welcome to Loma University School of Nursing Dedication Program. Please join me as I begin with prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, as we stand here tonight to dedicate ourselves to the nursing profession, I want to say thank you. Thank you for helping us gather safely tonight. Thank you for granting us this amazing opportunity to be a part of this program, where we are able to grow in many ways to serve you in our community. Thank you for the loving family members, professors, and classmates who you have placed in our lives and who have been there to support and cheer us along, both through the difficult moments and through the times of celebration like tonight. We could not do it without their support, and we couldn't do it without your guidance either, God. Please continue to give us the patience and give us the strength we need to continue on in our nursing career journey. We put our faith in you. I ask that you please fill this place with your presence as we and our loved ones come before you to dedicate ourselves to this beautiful profession. In your name, amen.
Greetings to everyone. I want to extend a warm welcome to each of you as you join us at Loma University for this 2021 dedication ceremony for the undergraduate nursing students. The traditional elements of the face-to-face service are included in this virtual event that you are viewing today. We want this service to be a meaningful experience for each of you. And this dedication ceremony is a very important milestone. It's a time when the students formally dedicate themselves to their future profession as professional nurses. Today we are celebrating 150 nursing students who have reached this point of their education. This is a very important event for your nurse. Whether it's a family member or a friend, thank you so much for joining us today to show your support for your nurses. Again, we welcome you to the School of Nursing Dedication.
What is dedication? When I first heard about dedication, I thought about the noun definition of the word, the quality of being dedicated or committed to a task or purpose. So I want to share with you a little bit about the background of why tonight is so important and how it came to be. Nursing has a long tradition of dedicating students to their chosen profession at some point during their nursing program. Years ago, after a probationary period of hospital work and some nursing classes, schools would have what was called a capping ceremony, where students received similar to what we are wearing today. After that special moment, the students wore their nursing caps when working in the hospital setting. Although we no longer wear caps in the clinical setting today for a number of reasons, not the least of which is that they get in the way of all the medical equipment used, we still appreciate their significance. Today, we continue to have a dedication ceremony to recognize the students' commitment to a life of service to others. Another symbol that you will see tonight are the nursing lamps that we will light. Florence Nightingale carried her lamp in the Crimean War and tended to the wounded soldiers who saw the light as hope. We are here today excited to take this next step in our nursing careers. As we move forward towards a life committed to service, compassion, and whole person care, we hope that we as Loma Linda nurses will be able to share this hope with everyone we come in contact with. Welcome to Dedication 2021.
Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall, but you have never failed me yet. Waiting for change to come, knowing the battles promise you're still enough. Keep me within your love. My heart will sing your praise again. Promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed. Your promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed me. You've never failed. You've never failed. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I've seen you move the mountains, and I believe I'll see you do it again. You made a way when there was no way, and I believe I'll see you do it again. I'll see you do it again. Promise still stands. Great is your faithfulness, your faithfulness. I'm still in your hands. This is my confidence. You've never failed me.
Today I have the privilege of introducing our speaker and someone who means a great deal to our class, Dr. Carrie Medina. Dr. Carrie Medina is an assistant professor at Loma University School of Nursing, where she has enjoyed connecting with students and promoting their critical thinking for more than 30 years. Her continued efforts to develop strategies to assist all students to learn and be successful in their academic lives earned her the Excellence in Teaching Award from the Gamma Alpha chapter of Sigma Theta Tau International, the Honor Society of Nursing. In addition to teaching, Dr. Medina has worked for Loma Linda University Medical Center as a medical surgical nurse and as a nurse educator in its nursing staff development office. Dr. Medina's research efforts during her doctoral program focus primarily on health promotion. Her current interests include exploring individualized approaches to fostering student success and achievement and creating an optimal environment for student learning. When not teaching, Dr. Medina enjoys engaging in health-promoting activities such as running, learning to cook healthfully, and spending time with her family and 2 dogs. She earned her BS here at Loma Linda University in 1982, her MS at Loma Linda University in 1987, and her DNSC at the University of San Diego in 1996. She has received the Excellence in Teaching Award, is part of Sigma Theta Tau International, the Gamma Alpha chapter, and was the 2018 and 2008 Alumnus of the Year here at Loma Linda University. We are so delighted and honored to have her here tonight to share with us.
Class of 2022, it's a great privilege to be here today to celebrate with you this milestone in your nursing education. Now, I'm sure your experience during this past year has been nothing like what you expected, but I'm really excited to see that you've all chosen to continue on this path in spite of the challenges that have arisen. I applaud you and I honor you. Even under normal conditions, it takes a special person to be a nurse. By now, you've discovered that nursing requires not only a caring heart, but also good critical thinking skills, emotional intelligence, integrity, and courage. But these aren't normal times, are they? It's true that nursing has always been a high-stress profession, but now, under pandemic conditions, the stress levels are way higher than normal. Nurses are being faced with huge challenges as they work through this crisis, especially since it seems to change every day. Trying to keep the COVID patients separated from the non-COVID patients, working amid staffing shortages, having less time to spend with each patient, making tough choices like enforcing visiting policies that separate families, trying to support and comfort patients who are not only terrified, but who are also alone. And in spite of our best efforts, many of these patients still die. And we keep going, not knowing when or if another surge will happen. These kinds of challenges can't help but leave their mark on us. Now, even though you're still students, you've already been out there in the middle of all this, doing your part to help. So I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But maybe you're hoping that once the pandemic ends, all these challenges will go away. If so, then I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I have to tell you, even once the pandemic is over, there is one truth that you will all still have to face, and that is that there'll always be things out there that seem beyond our controls, barriers that prevent us from living up to our ideals for nursing practice. So, how will you keep going? Possibly the best answer we have to that question at this point is the idea of resilience, which is why you chose it as our theme for today, right? According to the magazine Psychology Today, resilience is the psychological quality that allows some people to be knocked down by the adversities of life and come back stronger than before. People usually describe it as the ability to experience all the negative, difficult, and distressing things that life throws at you and still be able to stay on task and feel hopeful. Now, since resilience is such a hot topic these days, you hear about it everywhere. So I wondered what I could say to you about resilience that you wouldn't have already heard. It did, however, occur to me that you probably don't want to sit through another scholarly lecture about resilience today. So what I'm going to share with you will come from a much more personal perspective. I'm no expert on the subject, but I have been a nurse for a long time, and I've had my share of ups and downs, both as a nurse and as a teacher. So I'd like to share with you two things that I've learned that have kept me in the nursing profession. The first thing that I want to share is this: be kind to yourself. Give all you have while you're at work, but once you get home, take care of yourself. Pay attention to your physical wellness, yes, but also give attention to your emotional well-being. You know, nursing school is so time-intensive, and the typical workday on the unit is so hectic that over time many nurses find that they've forgotten how to not be busy. You've probably already experienced some of this during breaks between quarters, right? You want to relax, but you find that you can't remember anymore what you used to do back when you still had free time. You spend your whole day checking off boxes on your to-do list, and you feel guilty if you even think about doing something that's just for you. But you can't keep doing that, or eventually you'll just go crazy. So, starting now, make a point of giving yourself permission to rest and relax when you need to. Find something that you really love to do, and don't feel guilty spending a little time each day doing it. Because remember, it's not wasted time. It's time spent building your resilience. right? Along those same lines, being kind to yourself also means not pretending that all those things that are stressing you out didn't happen. You have to process those experiences in a way that works for you, whether that's by journaling about them, expressing them through music or art, or talking about them with someone you trust. Just don't ignore them, or they will come back to haunt you somehow, probably in the form of burnout. You know, I've often heard that all therapists are required to see a therapist themselves to keep from getting overwhelmed by having to listen to other people's problems all day. We nurses need to pay similar attention to our own self-care. Now, I think that most of you have already identified several sources of support for yourselves because, after all, going to nursing school during a pandemic is no walk in the park, is it? But I encourage you, before you graduate, to continue to identify as many sources of support for yourself as you can. Because even if you breeze right through NCLEX, you'll still find it hard to survive for long in the real world without support. And we don't want to lose even one of you to burnout. You know, we handpicked each and every one of you to be part of the history and legacy of our school. It's true. I know because I've been on our school's admissions committee before, so I know how the process works. And because we have intentionally chosen each one of you, we want to make sure that you have the tools that you need to not just survive, but to thrive. So let your family, friends, classmates, and coworkers help you. Look for a mentor to guide and encourage you. And, of course, don't forget your ultimate source of support, God. He's always there whenever and wherever you need him. He's never too busy for you. And he already knows and understands exactly how you feel. With God at your side, you can be confident that no matter what happens, you'll never have to go it alone. Okay? Being kind to yourself also means allowing yourself to not be perfect. I know it's not easy, especially during this pandemic when you often hear nurses and other frontline healthcare personnel referred to as saints or angels. And while I recognize that this is how people express their gratitude and admiration, it can sometimes put extra pressure on nurses. Because no one can live up to that image all the time, right? Everyone has bad days. And when we don't live up to those expectations, now we have an extra burden of guilt to carry around. I can't tell you how many times I've heard nurses talk about how guilty they feel if they say no when they're asked to work an extra shift. They might be tired out of their minds and afraid they'll make mistakes if they go in, but they still feel guilty saying no because they know that their unit is short-staffed and their colleagues will be struggling. But remember, nurses are not angels. Nurses are human beings. So if you fall short of your ideals, forgive yourself. Now, I know I've already told you in class about some of the mistakes I've made through the course of my career, but today I'd like to tell you about a mistake I made that I know I haven't shared with you before. It's a mistake that I made as a teacher. During the last quarter before I started using ExamSoft to give tests, I was Xeroxing paper copies of the test to hand out in class on test day. And I had gotten to where I only needed to make like 10 or 15 more copies when I got interrupted by something. And then I went back to finish making the copies. Well, what I didn't realize was when I made those last few copies, I had accidentally picked up a copy of the answer key and was Xeroxing that instead of the exam. So yeah, on test day, there were about 10 students who actually got a copy of the answer key instead of the test. Fortunately for me, about 10 minutes into the test, a very honest student came to me and said, does my copy of the exam actually have the answers marked on it? Oh my goodness. Talk about having a sympathetic fight or flight response, right? Anyway, without going into all the gory details, let's just say that I knew I had made a total mess of things, and I went home and I mentally kicked myself all night. But by the next morning, I realized that punishing myself wasn't going to do anyone any good, and that I would be better off putting my energies into working with the class to make sure all the students were treated fairly, and that no one's grade suffered because of my mistake. And I eventually decided to forgive myself and to use that mistake to become a much more careful teacher. So, being kind to yourself means accepting that everyone makes mistakes and looking on them as opportunities to grow. My second suggestion for becoming resilient nurses is this: reframe your definition of success. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, in which he says, "To leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived, this is to have succeeded." To me, this is the perfect definition of success as a nurse. You should never think that your value as a nurse or as a person depends on what happens to your patients. You can't save all your patients. It's just not possible. But even though that seems obvious, it's not an easy truth to come to terms with as a new nurse. And the temptation is always there to examine and re-examine every decision that you made and every action that you took, and to wonder if things might have turned out differently if you had made different choices. But you know, saving every patient that you take care of is not your job. Your job as a nurse is not to cure the disease, but to care for the person, to provide physical and emotional support during difficult times, to guide people towards their best quality of life, and to affirm their value as individuals who are more than just a disease. And these are all things that you can be successful in doing, regardless of the outcome of the disease process. Does that make sense? Realistically, we know that sometimes there will be things that we just won't be able to fix. But we can keep going because we know our work has meaning. Even the little things we do can make a big difference in the experience of our patients and their families. A little over 10 years ago, I went in for a routine mammogram, and afterwards the radiologist invited me back to an office to look at the films. He pointed at something on the x-ray that really looked like nothing to me, and he said, "See that? Right there? That's probably cancer. So sorry. You'll need to see a surgeon." And he got up and he walked out the door. Now, I hadn't been expecting anything like that, so I was pretty much in total shock. But oddly enough, the first thing that popped into my mind was, "Really? Well, you didn't sound very sorry to me." I was so mad. But eventually, I actually took in what had been said, and then my thoughts started down a different path. So, what am I supposed to do now? Do I wait here? Should I go home? If I go home, then what? Am I supposed to start looking for a surgeon all on my own? Isn't anyone going to help me? What am I supposed to do? And I sat there totally freaking out for what seemed like forever. But it was probably only a few more minutes before a nurse came in, and she said to me, "I'm so sorry. This must be really hard for you. Do you have any questions? Would you like to talk about what your next steps might be?" And right away, I could focus again. Now, the way that nurse approached the situation wasn't really a big thing. I mean, it didn't change the seriousness of my diagnosis or anything, did it? but it did make a huge difference in the way I experienced the situation. So you see, as nurses, we don't need to do big, amazing things to make a real difference in people's lives. In fact, Mother Teresa once said that we should not ask to do great things for God, but to do small things with great love. Of course, that's not to say that we don't keep trying to cure diseases and save lives, right? We still use the nursing process to assess and manage each situation. We still educate ourselves by keeping up with research on new developments. We ask questions. We make plans. We advocate for our patients and their families, and for ourselves and our colleagues. But we also remember the true meaning and purpose behind our work, so that even if it seems we're losing the battle against a disease, we can still look ourselves in the mirror at the end of the day and honestly say, I made a difference in someone's life today. I'd like to remind you of a text that I've shared before in class, because I think this text gives us the perspective to see the ultimate meaning in the work that nurses do. It's found in the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verses 34 through 40. Then I, the King, shall say to those at my right, Come, blessed of my Father, into the kingdom prepared for you from the founding of the world. For I was hungry, and you fed me. I was thirsty, and you gave me water. I was a stranger, and you invited me into your homes. Naked, and you clothed me. Sick and in prison, and you visited me. Then these righteous ones will reply, Sir, when did we ever see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you anything to drink? Or a stranger and help you, or naked and clothe you? When did we ever see you sick or in prison and visit you? And I, the King, will tell them, When you did it for these, my brothers, you were doing it for me. What this text is saying is, whenever we help those around us who are in need, in Jesus' eyes, it's the same as if we were actually helping him. What more meaningful work, what greater honor can there be than that? So, class of 2022, I challenge you on this dedication day to dedicate yourselves to living with resilience, a life full of meaning, and to doing a work that really matters. If this is your goal, then you're in the right place, and we are honored to be a part of your journey. May God continue to bless you as you do his work.
As you have now heard how significant nursing dedication is and the milestone it represents in your journey into the profession, there is another piece of significance we wish to pass on to each of you as well. It is my honor and privilege as the president of the Alumni Association of the School of Nursing at Loma University to present each nursing student with the gift of a Bible from the Alumni Association. The significance of the Bible has been a long-standing tradition that reaches back from one of our beloved Alumni Association secretaries, Hazel Wood, that each student receives this gift on behalf of the Alumni Association as a reminder to further the healing and teaching ministry of Jesus Christ to make man whole. This unique and sacred gift has been received by many students before you. The Bible you receive today on your nursing dedication is a living reminder filled with powerful words of promises, encouragement, and wisdom. As you continue your journey into the nursing profession, may you find encouragement from the Word of God and His promises today. Isaiah 41:10 says, So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Today, may this promise remind you that there is no challenge before you that you should fear, for God will always be with you and strengthen you throughout your journey through nursing school and throughout life. Be open to how God may continue to speak to you through your reading of the scriptures and how the Lord may utilize you in your endeavors. May the Lord bless each of you. On behalf of the Alumni Association of LUSN, congratulations on your nursing dedication today. Our continued prayers are with each and every one of you. Godspeed and God bless.
Good evening. I have been given the honor and privilege to introduce to you our junior class. Our junior class consists of our 3rd, 4th, and 5th quarter students. As you are all aware, this has been during the time of our pandemic. These students have shown resilience and dedication despite everything that's going on around, both inside school and on the outside. I am so excited to see where these students are going to go. I know everything they've learned in school and during this time has shown that they will be an amazing asset to the nursing profession.
The students you see before you have come from all different walks of life, but each and every one will become a Loma Linda University nurse. We are common in the goal of practicing excellence in the clinical setting, but also practicing whole person care. I'd like to present a few statistics that make our class unique on this day as we celebrate over a century of tradition. 20% males and 80% females make up the 3rd, 4th, and 5th quarter students. The average age of our class is 26 years old, with the youngest member being 19. Here at Loma Linda University, we emphasize the whole person model, where we learn to care for ourselves spiritually, mentally, and physically, so that we're at our best to care for others. Many students manage to balance the time between nursing school and family. Some of these students are married or have children that they go home to care for after long hours in the clinical and classroom setting.
We're fortunate to learn in a community that cherishes our ethnic and cultural differences. We have a space that allows our differences in ethnic and religious backgrounds to nourish a community of healing. We are blessed to have 19 international students in our junior class. We have a strength that comes from a broad diversity of experiences, and we are continuously learning from each other. Our students have come from a plethora of unique backgrounds. 46% of our class have completed a previous degree before choosing to apply for their Bachelor of Science in Nursing. This allows extensive knowledge from a variety of different fields. Nursing is a field founded upon caring for others, and we share an immense responsibility caring for patients in their most vulnerable times. We strive to instill comfort and hope in the lives of our patients, as they have given us a purpose to contribute for a better tomorrow.
As president of the junior class, I have the honor of leading my classmates as they commit their lives to Christian service with the following pledge. Before we begin, I would like to invite any family or friends who are watching at home and who are nurses to please recite the pledge with us. I solemnly pledge myself before God and in the presence of this assembly to practice faithfully my profession of nursing.
I will do all in my power to make and maintain the highest standards and practices of my profession.
I will hold in confidence all personal matters committed to my keeping in the practice of my calling.
I will serve as a loyal member of the healthcare team and will devote myself to the welfare of my patients, my families, and my community.
I will endeavor to fulfill my rights and privileges as a good citizen, and to take my share of responsibility in promoting the health and welfare of my community.
I will constantly endeavor to increase my knowledge and skills in nursing and use them wisely.
I will zealously seek to nurse those who are ill, wherever they may be and whenever they are in need.
I will be active in assisting others in safeguarding and promoting the health and happiness of humanity. Thank you.
I've seen life slowly fading away. I've seen death trying to take it away. I've seen pain drop a tear on her face, but in all I've seen, love remains. Love remains. Yeah. I've seen hope, or from the depth of despair. I've seen peace coming out from nowhere. I've seen grace wash the deepest of stains, seeing all I've seen. Love remains. You see, people always told me just wait and see. When you get a little older, the world will be darker like the stain on a window pane. But I can see through the stain. Love remains. Love remains. Yeah. You see, people always told me just wait and see. When you get a little older, the world will be darker like the stain on a window pane. But I can see through the stain. Love remains through the stain. I can see through the stain. Love remains. Love remains. Yeah. Love remains. Love remains. Ooh. Love remains. Love remains. Love remains. Love remains. Ooh. Love remains. Love remains.
Let's bow our heads for prayer. Father in heaven, thank you so much for this special dedication of this special class. You know each person in the class and all they brought to the profession of nursing. I ask that you'll be with each one of them, help them as they think through this pledge today, that they might continue to observe it through all of their nursing career. Bless them as they serve others. Help them as they face all the many challenges of nursing. Put your hand of protection on each one of them. Pray that you'll bless each of their family members too and help them to support them in their commitment to nursing. We thank you for each one of them, and I pray your special blessing on them. As they leave this service today, may they remember you are with them and that you care very much about them and will walk with them through both the good times as well as the difficult times. And I pray your blessing on them, for I ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.